All right, good morning, everybody. Today's date is November 22nd, 2022. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in New York City with video conferencing to our Albany and Buffalo offices. This meeting is also being live streamed on the Authority's YouTube channel. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and Commissioner Ford, staff in attendance, Acting Counsel Amarato, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Donahue, and myself, Secretary Roper. The next regular meeting date is December 14th. There is a special meeting on December 8th to consider package store applications as well. While in the meeting room, please silence your mobile phones and take phone calls or conversations outside. No food or drinks. For the second floor, public restrooms, or second floor, for the New York City office, public restrooms are located on the second floor. Please do not touch the microphone when you approach the podium. Items will be called in the order they are signed in, first in Buffalo, then Albany, and then in New York City. When your item is called, please approach the podium, introduce yourself. Representatives should also identify their clients who are with them. I believe there are announcements. Chairman, do you have anything?
Tom does.
Yeah, I just have one regarding the special meeting mentioned by Secretary Roper. I believe we're going to have 3 items on that calendar, and the last of the notices will probably be going out today or tomorrow if they haven't already. We did not catch all the package stores that were the older ones. We got most of them. We're going to be, some that didn't quite make the cut in time will be on for the 14th. We're doing our best to get any stragglers, for lack of a better term on that calendar, since the next meeting after that is not until January. But as I indicated before, please, if you don't get a notice that your package store is on that calendar, please don't email asking about it. When the matter is ready, you'll get a notice and it'll be scheduled for a full board meeting.
All right, so first item is in Buffalo. That's 1720 NEWFANE Wine and Liquor, LLC.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen M. Cohen, Hogan Willard, appearing for NEWFANE Wine and Liquor. With me is my client, Mr. Nicholas Kafora.
Go ahead.
We are seeking an application for a retail liquor license to sell the full gamut of alcoholic beverages. The applications have been submitted. I believe you've probably you've reviewed it in its entirety. I can go through it one step at a time if you'd like, but I think everything's there. We did send the sales tax.
Okay, Mr. Cafaro, why do you want a liquor store?
What was that?
Why do you want the liquor store?
Because I want to do better for my family.
Okay, and you're using a line of credit that's under your name and your spouse's name,
Yes.
but she's not going to be on the license.
No.
Is she going to work at the store?
Not off the start. It'll be just me solely.
Okay. All right.
When you say the full gamut of alcoholic beverages, you know that doesn't mean the full gamut of alcoholic beverages, correct, at a package store?
Yes, we can't sell beer, and I know it's just wine,
Okay.
liquor, and ciders.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions? The closest store is 4.5 miles away. Then the next one is almost 9, and so on. And all the stores are showing healthy growth, pandemic or not. So I'm going to vote to approve and find public convenience and advantage.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm surprised NEWFANE doesn't have a store there already, so I vote to approve based on public convenience and advantage.
And Chairman Bradley?
I vote to approve on the same grounds.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, thank you. You've been
Thank you
approved.
very much.
Yep. And Nicole, there's nothing else in Buffalo, correct?
That's correct.
All right, just leave it up for just for like 10 more minutes, just in case. Thank you. Next in Albany is number 1661, Union Inn of Schenectady, LLC.
Good morning, members. I'm Sean May, I'm the attorney for the Union Inn of Schenectady LLC. I'm here with Principal Phil Ruggiero. This is an application for a change in method of operation. We're asking to extend our hours at the location, as well as we'd like to add small jazz acoustic music. I will say that I've submitted some letters of support from the City of Schenectady, in particular the City of Schenectady Police Department, who's in full support of this application. We continue to work closely with Schenectady on our plan of supervision.
Can we talk about that letter for a minute?
Yes.
That letter kind of concerns me.
Which one are you looking at, Chairman?
The police chief,
July 8th, 2022?
the one that was sent in your supplemental.
Yeah, July.
July 8th, yes.
First of all, he refers to a 2 a.m. closing, whereas your client's asking for a 3 a.m. closing, which leads me to believe that maybe he wasn't told everything, because he also refers to the fact that the place hasn't had any problems, when in fact we know that's not true. In fact, it's had serious problems.
That was the last problem was February of 2020. We're coming up on 3 years since the last the issue that we had over there, Chairman. That's correct. And my application did say.
But we can start at January of 2019 and go to February of 2020. There were problems consistently during that entire period of time. Bad problems.
Yes, yes, you're correct. We did have some issues when we first opened, but we've been working closely with the city since those issues, and we continue to stay in contact with the city. We haven't had an issue, and we're coming up on 3 years. There's been no issues at all at the location. We continue to stay in contact with the police department, public safety, and we will do so moving forward. But again, it's been 3 years since that issue, and we acknowledge that. Mr. Ruggiero also has another restaurant in Schenectady, Nico's, which is downtown.
Can you get back to the chairman's issue about,
Sure, Tom.
because you made a statement that the police chief is in full support, but according to his letter, he's not in full support.
Or he doesn't know about the
Right.
issues, because the letter indicates that he's not aware. He's telling us there have not been problems since he opened. And there have been problems.
And he thinks
He's absolutely
you
aware.
want to, wait, Mr. May, he thinks you want 2 a.m., not 3 a.m.
Well, yeah, sure. My application did ask for 3 a.m., but 2 a.m. based on the recommendation is fine with us. The problem is we're closing at 12 o'clock now, and we get a late night crowd. We're on a full menu until, we'll say 2 a.m. at this point. And the business is there, the demand is there, and we have to turn people away at 11:30. We're gonna have a
But you know why
full kitchen.
there's a reason that happened. There's a reason he got 12 a.m. The previous licensee was canceled because he started operating as a nightclub. Then lo and behold, he tells us he's going to be something different, and for 2 years he's not. And he pays us $20,000 plus in fines, and now he wants us to just wipe all of that away and let him open for 2 more hours. Because the police chief said, wait, hold on, because the police chief says so, but the police chief is pointing out in his letter that he doesn't see any problems since he opened. Well, I do.
Well, it's not since he opened, Chairman. It's since I've got another letter from the office of the mayor talking about, in October of 19, talking about the problems that we were having over there. They are aware, and we've been working with them. This letter is indicating that we haven't any problems. We've been working with the city of Schenectady Police Department. We haven't any problems since, it's been 3 years, Chairman.
It has not been 3 years. It's been barely 2.
Well, February of 2020 was my last conditional no contest offer, which was the
And what
25,000.
what happened after February 2020? Just
Well, we had the
curious.
early closing hours. We've been working with the city. of
Okay, well, no.
Schenectady.
There was something a lot bigger that happened after February 2020.
The point he's making is that window between March of 2020 and say August of 2021, you get no credit for. I'd be surprised if he was open.
We've been open. It's been open. It's been difficult to do business at
Get
the location.
customers. Yeah, because
limited
people are getting
hours.
sick. I don't know. You guys, that's all
Well,
I
I
got.
will
Just to
say,
make
I
sure
mean-
the record is clear. Listen, if the mayor wants this and he's got a town that's getting shot up right now, because we obviously are in Albany and we see the articles in the Times Union, he wants that, more power to him. He can deal with it. Because that's what I see happening. That's what I see happening here.
Now, again, I've known Mr. Ribeiro for a decade. I understand the problems that we had over there.
I don't know him at all. This isn't about him. This is about the fact that this place has had issues, and they're violent issues. You're in a town that has a problem, much like many of the towns around New York State. And the mayor and the police chief want to give you more time to get live music in there to probably contribute to the violence that's occurring. It's their town.
Well,
They can do whatever they want. But I'll tell you what, if he ends up back here, that's going to be the end for him. There's no second, third, $20,000 checks. He can walk away. Go ahead, Donald.
If the members are ready to vote, Commissioner Fan.
Agreeing with everything that Chairman said, I'm going to go with what the police wants for you. 2 a.m. across the board. I'm okay with live acoustic jazz music limited to 3 pieces. Jukebox.
Thank you, Chair.
And Commissioner Ford.
As the chairman said, if the mayor and the chief of the police are cool with it, then I guess it's on them. So I'll go along with everything that Commissioner Fan just
And
stated.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote for it too. Because
Thank
the
you.
mayor and this is on the mayor and the police chief. And I'm going to make it clear if he comes back here that it's on them. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks.
Next in Albany is 1682 JIN'S Wine and Liquor, 2022 LLC.
Okay, good morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and Commissioner Ford. I first would like to just say, Commissioner Ford, it's been an honor to have the opportunity to appear before you. You'll be greatly missed, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
That said, I'm joined here by Jin Gohl, who is the owner of JIN'S, is the applicant and the owner of JIN'S Wine and Liquor. The application before you is for a liquor store in the town of Hudson Falls, the village of Hudson Falls. The store.
Oh, let me stop you.
Protest.
Let me just stop you there. I'm sorry. Is there any
Sure.
opposition there?
There is no
Is there
opposition.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem. The store is located again in the village of Hudson Falls. It's in a retail space that actually is very closely surrounded by many residential homes, and a number of, despite the cold, a number of customers do frequent a lot of the retail stores, and this would certainly contribute to that. If you take a look at the gross sales have increased, particularly with respect to the closest store. As you can see in supplemental materials, over the past 5 years, the increase has been over 73%. and a reasonable 8.1% in the next closest store, and then 31.3% in store 3. Store 4 did not return gross sales numbers. The population increase, I provided both the 2010 and the 2020 increases. The 2020 increase was, a modest 2%. 2010 was 5.1%. The applicant is committed.
All right, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop you there. We just have a couple questions.
She lives with
Sure.
someone who owns a package. Does she live with somebody who owns a package store?
Do you live with someone?
No.
No.
Well, where does she live? What's her address?
70 Richmond Hill Drive, Queensbury, New York.
What's your relationship with the owner of the store where you worked as a cashier?
My boyfriend.
You live with your boyfriend?
No.
Where does he
He
live?
owned the house, but I live with my kid. He lived in Corinth.
Okay, but his registered address, which was your address as well, I mean, to some extent on our records, you guys have lived together before
At 3 different locations.
at 3 different locations.
It sounds
It's
like
not
I
helpful.
think.
We're just asking. It's more helpful if you're just truthful and not trying, because this is actually, it's not helpful if you're not.
You're allowed to have 2 liquor stores as long as they're owned by separate people. So there's no point in lying. Do you live with your boyfriend?
No, he lived in Corinth.
Have you ever lived with your boyfriend?
Yes,
When?
a year ago.
Did you break up or something?
Back and on.
On and off. Okay.
Yes,
And
thank you.
and you're gonna be running this store, right? Is he involved in the store?
Yes, ma'am.
He is involved or he's not involved?
He's not gonna involve. I'm the only one who gonna operate the store.
She has experience in the previous store of approximately 4 years, and not only just in
Yeah, but
sales.
she
of
got her
course.
experience at his store. So
Well,
you know
yeah.
what we're getting at here, like
Yeah. No, I
telling you that
understood.
doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Well,
It's kinda like-
I understand. I think the housing. So it sounds like he owns a couple of houses,
Yes,
and so he essentially rents one to you, and you live there with your children.
yes.
And where did you get the money to open the store?
She has a bank account.
I'm asking her.
Okay.
Oh, I have a bank account. I got the money from my mother life insurance. She have a loan. The life insurance has a loan money there, so I get the money from there.
Okay. All right. Tom, it says that location was previously licensed from 12/27/2000 to 1/29/2001. So it was open for surrendered after a month? Is that, am I
Yeah,
reading
it
that
was
correctly?
a grocery store.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
grocery store, okay.
All right, we did get one objection in writing from, I believe, the closest store.
But that's down in Fort Edward,
Correct.
and you're the only one in Hudson Falls proper, or you would be.
Correct.
All right.
Yep. Mr. Fan?
With all the customary warnings that please don't commingle these 2 businesses because you will lose both stores. And with the village mayor's support, with numbers where all the area stores are doing increased sales, I'm gonna find public convenience advantage and vote in support of this store.
Commissioner Ford?
I find public convenience and advantage in your favor as well, but I think you should definitely take heed to what's being said here. about commingling and that kind of stuff. Make sure that it's your store and no one else's. So I will vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
You understand what they're saying?
Yes,
What does it mean?
that means the liquor store only, I am the one who gonna take care of the store.
Which means you also can't share product with your boyfriend's store.
Yes,
You
I
understand that
understand.
if that happens, you're going to lose the store.
yes,
All right, I'll vote to approve.
All right.
thank you.
Yep. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, members. Thank you. And you can just step out and if you'd like, sure.
Okay.
Next
Thank you.
is 1703, the request for a declaratory ruling.
Yes. Okay, good morning again, members. My name is Maston Sansom. I'm the attorney for the, my client here, Garnish LLC. This is a request for a declaratory ruling. I'm joined here by the owner, David Brennishin. Again, before you is a request for a declaratory ruling. This is a mobile app platform that is essentially from a high level connects customers with suppliers and facilitates rebates for purchases made at on-premises establishments. And no funds are shared between suppliers and retailers. I think what it'd be helpful to do is maybe turn it over to David to discuss a little bit the nuts and bolts of how the app works, if that's okay with you.
Is that necessary?
No.
I just have a
Okay.
few questions. I don't think it's necessary that we go from the beginning.
Okay.
Is there an intention to limit the number of drinks per day per customer? I'm just asking.
Yeah, so through the application, anyone can upload at any time, but on the back end, what we control is we will never redeem over a certain amount per day. So I think when we've been discussing, it's about 4 per day. So someone, let's say
Okay.
they upload 100, we're not going to redeem 100.
Okay, would you commit to 4 a day?
I think on the start, yeah, we could commit to 4 a day.
Okay.
And who pays you? The manufacturer?
Yeah, so basically what happens is with the suppliers and distributors, they basically start a campaign, let's say. So they have X amount of money within that campaign that they can put in the app. So from our perspective, we only take a percentage from an amount from the actual transaction itself. So let's say there's 5 transactions a day, we take $1.50 from each one of those transactions. And that's a part of the campaign budget that they provide to us. That's how we don't do any advertising within the applications. That's the only way for us to make any capital to keep the app running. And it's free too, so it's the only way to monetize it.
Technically sharing of alcohol sales. Although it's a flat fee.
If it's a flat fee, it's,
Fine, okay,
to me, this is nothing more than a high-tech mail-in rebate.
right. Okay, we're ready, Don.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna vote in the affirmative to declaratorily declare that Garnish is an allowable business model under ABCL 117A. Just to counteract the unlimited offer, we're going to set the number of drinks for each person for a day, and that the fee and that the discount does not exceed 50% of the regular price, because that's the law.
Commissioner Ford?
I have my concerns about how we oversee this and how it gets reported and how we hold you accountable to adhere to the law. How do we do that?
So I think you're talking about, Section 117A, the unlimited drink law, and the app has staff as well as intra-app capabilities to help regulate that. Particularly, they get a copy of the actual receipt. That's how a rebate is obtained, is uploaded to the app so they know the exact price paid for the drink. So they are able to basically, behind the scenes, ensure that any rebate does not exceed 50%. They also, each account has, each member has their own account, and they accumulate basically that data so that they can also ensure that no more than, as you have suggested, as Commissioner Finn suggested, 4 drinks or 4 rebates per customer per day. So they do have the capability within the app as well as staff to make those assurances. And of course, all this information is going to be recorded.
So within the application, everything's recorded within the app. Nothing's automatic. So it requires a person to actually check off on any rebate that goes out. So it's not a situation where someone can upload something. There's AI or a tool that says this is okay, and then that's going to go directly into their account. It has to be checked multiple times for it to go out, because one, we need to be sensitive about the actual campaign capital that we have, and we don't want to overpay. So there are checks and balances on the back end of the application where there's no automatic transactions that occur from the consumer getting paid directly back. It has to go through our team before anything's actually approved and let out for actual payment.
Where it can all be audited and viewed by us if we needed to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, within the application, we're tracking every transaction. So every transaction that comes through, any interaction with the application itself, any individual who's uploaded anything through the app, we have to track that on our back end.
All right. I will vote in the affirmative as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote under the same conditions that Commissioner Fan mentioned in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, member.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck with it.
Thanks. We'll see what happens.
All right.
All right, Paula, there's no one else signed in Albany, correct?
Correct, sir.
All right, you can sign off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Paula. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye, Commissioner.
Bye.
All right. First in New York City is 1674 KLEVOR Liquor Enterprises, Inc.
Morning, Commissioners. Martin Miller of Miller & Buscemi. I have with me my client, Rosa Tavares, and her brother, Louis Tavares. There is a charge that relates to an availing. This is a very tight-knit family. This is a brother and sister. The owner of the liquor store is Rosa Tavara. What happened was they had a mother who got very sick, had Alzheimer's, among other things. And it was decided between the two of them that Rosa would take care of her basically on a full-time basis, and that when he could, Louis would help run the store. It was never the intention of Louis to own the store. He doesn't want to own the store. But what we've suggested is that we file a corporate change, make him an officer, so that the authority, if it has any doubts, would allow the store to continue with both.
Oh, that's fine. Donald, I think we're ready.
All right.
That's fine with me.
I really don't understand.
Because identified himself as the owner.
Commissioner Fan.
I'm going to go to 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
5,000.
5,000 and corporate change.
No, it will go in. Thank you very much. Have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you all. Thank you.
That's exactly what I had too.
Good.
Yeah.
5,000. All right. Next is 1683 Oceanboro Liquor Corp.
Good morning. Howard Levine for the applicant. I believe there's opposition.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Francis Buscemi for the opposition. I'm representing the Lieutenant Spirits, New Century Liquor, 7th Avenue Wine and Spirits, and Dong Brother Realty. Those stores, we just want to put your names on the record.
My name is Xijun Chen. I'm an owner of Lieutenant Spirits liquor store.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mei Pen. I represent New Central Liquor Store today.
New Central?
Yes.
New Century.
That's not one of the 4 closest stores, right?
Right.
Not listed as a site.
Okay.
No, New Century is. I'm
New
sorry.
Century is? I don't see it.
I had it at half a mile.
Half a mile?
Hi,
Okay,
my
maybe
name is
the
Yan
5th
Li Gu.
closest.
I represent 7th Avenue Wine and Spirits.
Which one?
7th Avenue Wine and Spirits.
7th Avenue.
Yes.
Okay. There's also another store. Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Sheila Yang. I represent S&A Liquors
S&A.
as 11th Avenue.
Okay.
Why did you not give us your sales numbers?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, did we not
I
get-
had the
did we not get it?
application. I sent it into the.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
Did we not get it?
Anyone else?
The examiner didn't. find
All right.
Hi, my name is Imezu. I'm here for the Down Discount Wine Liquors.
Which one?
It's the Down Brother Realty.
I'm sorry. What?
Dong Brother
Brother
Realty.
Don Brother Realty?
Yeah,
Right.
but
It's
the DBA is
just the name.
Down Discount Wine Liquor.
Okay, cool.
And S&A is here on her own.
Tell me again who you were representing?
I'm representing the Lieutenant Spirits, New Century, 7th Avenue Wine and Spirits, and Dong Brother.
Is Balboa here?
Okay.
No, okay.
No.
But there's one that's not represented by you.
Right, it's S&A.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
All right, so the applicant's looking to open up a 2,400 square foot store. Going through the sales figures of the existing liquor stores in the area, I think it's clear that there's no increasing demand for alcohol. Lieutenant Spirits purchased the business in November of 2018. It's January through October 2022, 2021 sales are really flat. They gave you I show you a graph showing the month-to-month sales for 2021 and 2022, January through October. And it shows that those sales are flat. When you're looking at New Millennium, they had decreases in 2019 and 2020, a slight increase in 2021, but still its sales are only hovering around the $500,000 gross annual sales. Balboa has extremely low sales, very low sales, and it shows its sales have been decreasing.
We don't have their numbers. At least not in my record right now.
I had seen them. So you should have them. That's one of the 4 closest, I believe.
Yeah, I know they are the closest, but they're doing lowering numbers.
Extremely low numbers.
Not here, but
They're showing, I mean, I saw it, they've been decreasing from 2018. Sales in 2018, the sales were a little over $100,000.
it gone down $100,000?
No, it's decreased off $101,205.
What's your 2001 number for Balboa?
I don't have that with me. I think it's something like, I might be wrong, I don't want, something maybe like $96,000 or something like that.
Yeah, don't speculate.
Wow,
But you
okay.
should have that, because I had seen it when I did the
Right,
foil.
but you're saying that they're doing $100,000 in sales total all year round?
Yes. From what I saw from the gross sales letter.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, New Century, all right, they purchased the business in August of 2021. So there is not a lot of sales to show. What we did was, we did an August fiscal year, August through July, so that you'd have 12 months of sales. Their sales are under $500,000 for that period. Also, 7th Avenue, they purchased the business again in August of 2021. Their 2021 sales from August through December or $60,000. And in 2022, when we look at January to August sales, the total is $165,000. So again, here's a store that's really marginal in sales. Dong's Discount Wine and Liquor, they decreased in 2019 and 2020. I gave you that in my package. Those stores that were not the four closest, I provided you with a gross sales letter from them. All right, so in 2019 and 2020, they had decreases. In 2021, their sales are under $500,000. And going from January 22 to August of 2022, excuse me, the sales are $287,000. So again, pretty marginal. I also want to point out that there are two new liquor stores that opened up not that long ago in the area where Ocean Bro Liquor has applied for. We have an East Ocean Liquor that was opened in October of 2021. I have that at 1.2 miles from the applicant store. And then there's an Ocean Star Wine and Spirits, which was also approved. And that opened in August. It was approved August 2020, and that's 1.4 miles from where Ocean Bro Liquor wants to open up its store. I'd also like to point out that these stores are not, they're full-service stores. Lieutenant Spirits has 3,000 SKUs. It carries a wide range of products, international products, Asian products, Japanese, Chinese, organic, New York State products. The same with regard to 7th Avenue Wine and Spirits. Again, a full-service store has a large variety of products from around the world, Asian products, Chinese, international wines and spirits, and they're carrying over 1,100 SKUs. These stores in the area in general have had to really compete with East Ocean Liquor and Ocean Star Liquor, who opened up being very heavy discount stores. So they've been discounting in order to compete. The existing other stores have had to discount certain products, and it's reaching a level, in my discussions with the stores, that this is resulting in a lack of profitability at this point for the stores. Within a 1 mile radius, we have 11 liquor stores. And I've given you a list of those stores. I've also provided you with demographic reports. Between 2010 and 2021, the population has either decreased or shown very little growth. Within a 1/4 mile radius and within a 1/2 mile radius, the population has decreased over those period of years. And within a 0.75 mile radius and a 1 mile radius, the population has had a de minimis increase.
Where are you getting those numbers?
The demographic survey, which I provided to you in the package is an exhibit, which that would be Exhibit C. I also provided you with zip code data. The zip code data, this store is the applicant is in 11219, considered Borough Park, all right? When you look at that, it's interesting to note that there's been almost no housing growth of late. And also, when you look at the zip code data for Borough Park, it shows that, which is kind of an interesting statistic, it shows that almost 40% of the population is below the age of 21.
How long? How many? What percentage?
Over 38% of the population in zip code 11219, which is Borough Park, over 38% of the population are minors or under the age of 20 or 21. I think, I'm sorry?
Yeah, but Borough Park, I mean, you could be catching a whole other population there.
Well, that's
That
the
the
zip.
adult and the kids are not drinking,
Yeah,
so
I mean-
it's like neither here nor there.
I'm just saying that's the zip code, and so I think when we look at the gross sales of the stores, it doesn't show an increase in alcohol demand. The stores do carry substantial product lines. to serve the existing
Okay.
area. And I don't think public convenience and advantage will be served by putting another license there.
All right, thank you.
you. You want to?
It looks like, I'm sorry. I was looking at workflow and it doesn't like, we do have the number.
My name is Shirley. I'm from the liquor store from 6503 11th Avenue.
What's the name of your liquor store?
SNA.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to let you know that this 2 year, the store sales had dramatic drop for us from 400,000 to $350,000, which we barely to make a living. We just want to make a living from the store. If they open up another store, so we probably it's no bacon to bring home. So I'm here to, again, the new applicator, and, you know, I mean, I just want to keep the store open to make a little bit living, you know, small. That's
Okay.
it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys can sit down now.
Mr. Buscemi, I just want to confirm with Balboa, the principal is Mikowski Christoph? Is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, you're not
I don't
representing,
represent Balboa.
but you saw
I
the
saw
number.
Yeah, I saw
You
the
saw the
sales
gross sales number? Okay.
That's the only reason, that's why I included it in my submission.
It looks like the address got cut off here, but.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Buscemi. Thank you very much to the protesters for coming down. Commissioner Ford, thank you very much for your service. Like council said earlier, it is an honor to appear before you. For all of these years, you've always been very, very fair. Chairman and commissioners, my name is Howard Levine. I represent Ocean Bro Liquor Corp. I have with me today the applicant's principal. Ocean Bro is located, or hopefully will be located, within Borough Park, Brooklyn. Brooklyn is still the hottest area to live in probably all of New York State. It is very densely populated. There are very few vacancies. The area in Borough Park that the applicant seeks to open a premises is booming. Its neighbors include high-end stores or well-known stores like Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins, Burger King, dozens of mom and pop shops, and residences as well. There is not extraordinary construction right within a few blocks of the store, but at 1508 Coney Island Avenue, there's a building going up, mixed use, 143,000 square feet, that's going to have medical, professional, nonprofit, retail, residential, restaurant space, a community center, and in a most futuristic way, 2 levels of robotic parking. The zip code 11219 of Borough Park is the 15th most populated zip code of the 1,754 zip codes in New York State, number 15. I looked at the United States Census numbers. I'm not sure of the demographic numbers that Mr. Buscemi has submitted to the board, but the United States Census certainly is a trustworthy source. It indicates that with the margin of error, the population has been stable in this highly populated, densely populated area of Brooklyn. This area of Brooklyn is highly characterized and populated by the Jewish community. One thing that the stores do not offer is a wide range of kosher product, which is amazing for Borough Park, Brooklyn. They are also antiquated businesses. These businesses don't offer the type of interactive, educational, stimulating shopping experience that this applicant wants to offer. This applicant is going to offer high-speed internet with a client-facing computer where there will be preloaded applications where they can do research right there in the store. The shelving, each shelf will contain a pre-recorded audio instructive synopsis, commonly known as talkers, further enhancing the public's shopping experience. There will be a plethora of printed material that's also available to each customer so that they can educate themselves on the variety of the location of the growth, of how they pair with different meals, of what their seasonality is. None of that is offered in the stores in the area. The applicant will have...
With 800 square feet of retail space.
I'm sorry?
How are you doing that with 800 square feet of retail space?
Very carefully. The talkers do not take up much space, and the printed material is going to be, housed not only in the retail space, but in the back office. and more will be in the basement to reload it once people take the material to take it home and read it. And people that don't want to read it can interface on these apps, Decanter, TrueWine, Vivino. It's going to be 2023. This is how consumers shop these days. And
By
this
taking
is
a flyer home?
taking a flyer home, having talkers at every single shelf, having the ability to see a bottle that perhaps they don't recognize, go online right there in the store and do research. The applicant and his staff is also going to be trained to assist them in doing that. They want to offer materials that are also accessible to the handicap. Where accessible, they're going to get written material that's in Braille. And they also want to have audiological materials for those that are visually impaired. So that's the model
What
here.
language is the printed material going to be in?
I'm sorry?
What language is the printed material going to be in?
The printed material is going to be in as many languages as the applicant can get it. It's going to be at least in Mandarin and also in Hebrew, because again, Borough Park is a mecca for the Jewish population. They want to specialize in certain areas of product. They
So
want
you
to,
think you're getting the Hasidic population to come to your store?
not necessarily Hasidic, but certainly the Orthodox. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In this walking community, you talk about there are stores within a mile. Tasking people to walk a mile in Brooklyn a mile is a completely different universe from one neighborhood to the other in Brooklyn. The applicant is going to put its money where its mouth is and dedicate 25% of its product to Asian, 25% to New York, and a large majority to kosher as well. Contrary to what Mr. Buscemi has just presented, the closest stores have healthy sales. The applicant seeks to have 850 square feet of retail space. That is no larger than any of the 4 closest stores. In fact, it's tied for the smallest retail space. The others are 885, 1,275, 900, and we tie at the smallest for 850, almost a half a mile away in a walking community. In fact, 2 of the Forest didn't even submit their gross sales numbers, and from the FOIA request I made, it indicates that there's no response and it's been referred to enforcement.
Well, actually, Mr. Buscemi's right. We did get Balboa's sales. It just was not in our packet, but they have now been provided.
I see that there are some.
Wasn't who was from was cut off, so that's why I didn't.
Okay, but we do have.
Yeah.
I also have a copy of Mr. Buscemi's submission, and I think that they might have been attached to that. I don't know if they were submitted in compliance with the requirement to the
No, we
board.
got them. They were submitted in compliance with our process.
Okay.
And they were inadvertently left out of our packet, but we do, all 3 commissioners have them now.
Okay, fair enough. So let's start with Lieutenant. Lieutenant is the only store that's one of the 4 closest that's here in protest today. From 2019 to 2020, they had a 35% increase. From 2020 to 2021, they went up 50%. Of course, that's the COVID bump. We've seen it all the time, and we've now come to expect it, but a 50% increase. But the fact of the matter is, their sales numbers through July 2022 are over $500,000, and that does not account for the months remaining in the year and the holiday bump, which means not only will they meet, they'll exceed that 50% increase that they had from COVID. I project their sales to be 1.2 million, up from 966,000. So again, they had a 35% increase and then a 50% increase. They're going to keep that 50% increase and build on that. Millennium is another one of the 4 closest stores. They are not here today. Their sales went down slightly from 19 to 20. They had an increase from 20 to 21.
They went down significantly from 18 to 19.
I'm speaking
19 and 20, and then went up a tick from 20 to 21.
Right. I want to focus, obviously, I want to focus on the increase from 20 to.
60% of what they made in 2018
But
in 2021. Like, there is no support here that there is increased demand. Like, if you saw the Balboa numbers, it's
I'm going to get to
the
Balboa
same
in
type
just a
of
second.
drop from 100,000 in 18. The overall sales, it's 85% in 2021 of that.
I'm going to get to Balboa, but I just want to stick with Millennium for a second. There definitely was a decrease, then there definitely was an increase. You, Chairman Bradley, indicate that it's a tick. Mr. Buscemi indicated that it was only a slight increase, but my calculation shows that it was a 12.5% increase from 2020 to 2021. And then when you look at the sales through
They're not even close to recovering what they were selling in 2018. They're still 200,000 less than they were in 2018.
if you look at their sales numbers through June, which are 322, that has them on sale that has them on course for the next 6 months.
It's August.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it said 6. Is that an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. In any event, Millennium definitely has lost sales. There was a 12.5% increase. If they're still on the decline, I'm not going to fight it. But the Lieutenant certainly had a 35 and a 50% increase. These are also older stores. Balboa has been there since 2017, but the 3 other stores have been there 2 decades. S&A has been there for more than 3 decades, and the business model hasn't changed. These aren't interactive stores. They don't supply information to the public. Council just stood up here and said they have a wide variety. There was not one mention of wine tasting, of educational materials, or of anything else. Now, if we look at S&A, they have no website at all. Their sale, again, they have no website. There's no information for the public. How would you ever know if there's a wine tasting? There's no schedule. There's nothing. Balboa, they have a website, and they also have a Facebook page. Their website indicates they're open till 7 p.m., and their website has 3 comments. One of the 3 comments, the only one to actually have words, says not major selection. Then you look at their Facebook page. Their Facebook page has 0 reviews. Their last entry on Facebook was in March of 2018, when it says we just updated our inventory. There has been absolutely nothing since then. I'd like to hand those materials up.
You know what's unfair is that you come in and you read half the quote. It says not major selection, but super nice neighborhood liquor store, excellent service.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
But I'm talking about selection.
It's not fair. It's disingenuous.
I'm talking about selection. I'm not talking about whether people are nice. I would expect people to be nice. I'm sure they are. We've just met them when they put their names on the record.
You took a piece of a sentence that was written and made it sound like it was a negative sentence, when in reality the sentence was almost 100% positive.
I'm only talking about selection and variety.
Yeah, but you're quoting something and you're not accurately quoting it.
Then let me say this. My presentation speaks to the variety of information that they want to give to the public and the variety of product that they want to give to the public. And this customer said there's not a major selection. And that's what I'm speaking to. I'm not looking to disparage whether they're nice or not.
Continue. I'm not going to argue about whether you think it was disingenuous or not, because I really don't care.
Okay.
I do think it was.
Fair enough. Their website and their Facebook page have no information to the public. There is no blogs. There is no schedule of events. No one would ever know when they could come down and learn anything at all. Then you have 7th Avenue. Again, that's not one of the nearest stores. It's all the way out in Park Slope, 1.2 miles away. Their website was last updated in August of 2021. Before that, it was last updated in June of 2020, when they indicated at the height of COVID that only 3 customers were allowed in the store at the same time. Luckily, we've moved past that, but there's nothing on their website that gives any information, no education, no schedule whatsoever. New Century, there's no website at all. Dom's, there's no website at all. Now, Mr. Buscemi indicates that East Ocean Liquor, which is 1.2 miles away, is a new store from 2021. That's just wrong. It's just absolutely inaccurate. And the reason why I know that is because I'm the attorney that prepared that application. That application was granted in September of 2018. it was renewed in 2021. And it's also not a heavily discounted store. They committed to 70% Asian product and 20% New York State product. So that's just absolutely inaccurate. Again, the Lieutenant store is the only one who has submitted opposition as being one of the 4 nearest stores. They have 1,275 square feet of retail space. That's 35% larger than this applicant. Again, they had 30 and then 50% increases, and they stand to increase by 30% again this year. But what's important to understand is the location of the Lieutenant. They serve the area where they're located specifically. They're located directly next to a Key Food, a large food shopping store that has an off-street parking lot. They are located right next to it. They're also under the MTA subway tracks and within steps of the local stop for 71st Street, and they also are right across the street from public park space. Now, of course, you can't buy alcoholic products and go into the park and drink, but there are certainly heavy foot traffic in that area. People can stop by on their way home. So that store specifically serves those people, not a half a mile away in Borough Park. Applicant visited the Lieutenant and can attest to the fact that they have a very small Asian product line.
We've heard enough about the Lieutenant. Do you have anything else?
Okay. They only to say that they tout themselves as a discount store. That's on their website, and this applicant does not seek to be a discount store. It wants to be an interactive, educational, 21st century modern store that educates the public and offers to them services and education that are not available in some of these stores that are 20 and 30 years old. We're going to be in 2023, and it's time to have talkers on every shelf, printed materials on every shelf, face-forward computers that allow people to do research and access applications right there and then in the store. A comprehensive website that offers information and blogs and links and a schedule that people can know. If I go on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I can have a wine tasting of this type of wine from this distributor that pairs well with this food in this season. Right now, there is nothing that's offered in the area that provides that to these local folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need to go outside now? I'm going to take 2 minutes to confer with council.
We're going to go off the record to take a brief conference with council. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, after the
We're back
presentation.
on the record after a brief conference with council. You can go ahead.
After the presentation by the applicant's attorney, the stores came up to me and they just want to clarify one thing. These stores have tastings, they carry kosher wines, they have employees that speak multiple languages and whatnot. So, I mean, these are stores that do what normally these liquor stores do with tastings and product selection.
The only point I was making is no one would ever know. You cannot go online these days and find out anything from any of these websites, the stores that have, most of them don't even have. Everyone goes online to do everything, to shop, to price check, to research, to figure things out that they have no idea about. I just did it about buying a wrench to fix a sink. What do I know from that? What do? I go right onto YouTube. Everyone goes online. If you go online for these stores, you will never find any of that information.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Donald.
All right, the members are ready to vote. Commissioner Fan.
Oh, wait, just to be clear.
Right.
We also did get S&A sales numbers. All three commissioners have them. They were put in properly. Unfortunately, they did not end up in our packet, but we all three have them now.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
I like the business model. I think the sales are just really, really suffering in the area. There's a reason why there are so many people here protesting this, because there's just really not enough sales to go around. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I think sales in other stores, they basically look like marginal, like they're just staying alive. So for that reason, I'm going to vote to deny as well.
And Chairman Brother.
I'm going to vote to deny for the same reason regarding the sales, but also based on the map and the four closest, there's 4 within half a mile, and there's probably another 4 under a mile, which to me is just, given the neighborhood and the sales are either flat or decreasing, other than for the lieutenant. I just don't see the demand, and all of these stores are within walking distance of most of the community. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Next item is 1663 Fulgum's Rest and Bar Corp.
All right, this was on previously and then put over today. On the 17th, I did send a letter, the attorney's letter who's handling the reinstatement. The issue was that this corporation, Fulgum's Restaurant and Bar Corp., was dissolved by proclamation because franchise taxes returns for a number of years had not been filed. And this is an update. It hasn't been reinstated. The tax returns. Mr. Fulghum, Bruce Fulghum is with me today. He spoke to get an update this morning, was it?
Yes, it was.
This morning from Lawrence Kirsch. He's saying that things have been filed. It's going to take about 4 to 6 weeks.
And so put this over for 8 weeks, Tom. Or I'm sorry, Donald.
For 8 weeks?
Because we can't give the license back because he doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So
no,
we'll just-
I get it, yeah.
2 months?
Yeah, 2
1,
months.
5.
Well, they have the license.
They have,
No, but I'm saying the corporation
No,
doesn't
what I mean
exist.
is though, that they're still operating.
Right, and if we did this, we could.
Right.
So we're gonna put it over for 2 months.
The calendar's not been posted that far in advance.
January 18.
That's the proposed right now is January 18th.
is that, how many, I don't know. how many-
January 18
that's
is
enough
2
weeks.
months from now.
That's Wednesday, that's like,
It's enough weeks?
yeah, well, I don't know, it's up to you.
Well, you said, I'm telling you, 6 to 8 weeks is what the attorney said, what Larry
Oh, so
Kirsch.
go to
Do you
another-
want February 1st?
Yeah, do February 1st.
Okay, just to make sure, I'd like to get, I don't want to have to keep on appearing, obviously. All right, thank
If
you.
it's not done on February 1st, just send us an email, you don't have to.
Ahead of time, right? Okay, good idea.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Next is 1684 Wonderful Restaurant LLC.
Good morning, members. Max Bookman and Phil Dorn, Pazetsky and Bookman for the licensee. With me is Brian Galligan, who is the president of the licensee. This is a corporate change application that was filed as the result of an investigation by your Enforcement Bureau, which we cooperated in fully. During the course of that investigation, 2 failures to disclose emerged, and the purpose of this corporate change application is to rectify both of those failures. One of them was a holding company that was the 100% owner of the licensee from the start, was never included in the license application. And I did a little diagram in my papers to illustrate the difference between what was filed and what the truth was. As you can see, although it was in fact inaccurate, the ultimate beneficial owners were the same, but it was an inaccuracy nonetheless. The more recent failure to disclose came in 2020 during a pandemic-related bankruptcy when the 70% owner of the licensee, like many restaurants did during the early days of the pandemic, went bankrupt. The licensee's lender came in and emerged from the bankruptcy to take over as the new owner. That's BSP, who you see in my papers. They're the lender. They're now the new owner. And they were ignorant of the ABC law's requirements that a corporate change application need to be filed. This was discovered in a renewal that then led to enforcement, and we filed the application to correct the change, to correct the mistake. The principles of BSP are licensable. They were on another license.
Let me ask you this. In the initial mistake,
yes,
which I find hard to believe, you have a Brian Galligan who owns 21%, who now owns 0.
That's right.
What did he get for his 21%?
He got out of bankruptcy.
Did someone pay him? And did he sell his 21% or it just went up in smoke?
Well, the initial mistake, Mr. Chairman, had nothing to do with.
I know, but he now owns 0.
He now owns 0. So the more recent mistake, which was that's what made him own 0.
My question is, there had to be a corporate change for him, at least internally, for him to go from 21% to 0.
The corporate change internally that happened was his company went bankrupt and he got out of bankruptcy. So the bankruptcy documents we filed showed that his lender, he owed money to his lender during the pandemic. The lender said, we're going to still collect. Him and his company said, we don't have the money. So the lender said, well, you're going to have to go into bankruptcy.
So he turned it into the lender.
Yeah.
So he turned he basically, whatever portion he owned went to debt.
Exactly. His loan was forgiven by the lender.
All documented.
That's all documented in the application we've submitted. See, with the bankruptcy paperwork. He remained on as the president of the company. He has experience in operating these restaurants, and so he's now, he's an officer, but he's not an owner of his company anymore. For whatever it's worth, I don't know if it's worth much. In my experience, our state's bankruptcy bar is woefully ignorant of the ABC law. We often see cases come out of bankruptcy where the bankruptcy is completed for years, and the bankruptcy attorneys just
the bigger
don't
issue
know.
to me is the initial one, that you have a holding company that you don't even mention.
Mr. Chairman,
I realize on paper it means nothing, but to us it does.
Agreed. And typically the way these mistakes happen is when an attorney's preparing an application, they say, who are the owners? And the applicants say, oh, it's me and my partner. And an attorney who doesn't investigate it any further may not know to ask, well, do you own directly or is it through a holding company?
You know which firm did the original application,
I do, but
right?
it wasn't me.
You know what firm did it though, right?
I do know what firm did it, yes.
Can someone tell me, or are we not saying?
It was my
That's
firm.
good book.
It was my firm. Wasn't me.
You were probably in law school at the time.
I was actually still in college.
And then the other question I have is, how much does Rhea own?
Rhea always owned 30%. It was disclosed as 30%.
30% of the profits.
He gets 30% of the profits. Now, I know at his investigation. Sorry.
The question is that what Mr. Rea was telling the investigators is not what either the old corporate structure was set up as or the proposed one.
Mr. Rea, to speak plainly, doesn't really know about the details of the corporate structure.
Anybody other
Well,
than you?
but shouldn't, I mean, if he owns 30% of something, shouldn't he know that?
I mean, you deal with restaurant owners too.
Yeah, probably not.
Secretary,
Should he? Yes.
Deputy
Does he?
Commissioner.
No. I would
He was
not
always a
believe
passive owner, and he's still.
he doesn't.
The only reason we produced him for the investigative interview is because he was the only person left to produce who was still licensed. I would rather have
Who do
not
you
had.
have here with you?
Mr. Galligan. So that's Brian Galligan. He was the owner. Now he's the president with no ownership interest.
And who's the other? Oh, you're
This
his
is Mr. Dorn.
little associate there, okay. Not little, I'm sorry.
It's bigger than me.
All right.
Members ready to vote?
So who did this, your father?
I think Warren. I'm hoping. I'm going to blame Warren because he's retired.
Let's blame him.
You also you brought charges, by the way, and
I heard he watches every 2 weeks, though.
I doubt it.
Still does watch?
No, Warren doesn't. You brought charges too, and we're going to, when your counsel's office gets around to it, we'll do a CNC and take responsibility again for what happened. I'm sure there'll be a civil penalty.
Approve.
Commissioner Fan, did you already?
Yes, I'll vote to approve as well.
And Commissioner Ford?
I don't think it was intentional either. Maybe just a little too complicated, maybe not done properly because of the bankruptcy, the pandemic, locust, you name it. It just fell through the cracks, so I'm going to allow it as well.
All right.
Thank you, members.
Approved. Thanks. Next is 1721, MILLESIMA USA LLC.
Good morning again, members. Max Bookman and Phil Dorn for Pazetsky and Bookman. With me is Pierre Stanislas. He is the general manager of MILLESIMA. This is a removal application, and I'd like...
Is there any opposition here? Because we did get opposition.
There was one letter that I'm aware of. So I'd like to do 3 things very briefly. One of them is tell you a little bit about MILLESIMA. The second is to tell you why the removal is in the public convenience and advantage. And the third is to address the one opposition letter from our count to the 7th closest store. MILLESIMA is a family-owned company. It started in France as a direct-to-consumer business in the 1980s. They expanded to the United States in 2010. They opened their current store on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. They're well known throughout the industry for their product. They have everything, but they focus on high-end Bordeaux and Burgundy wines. They're really a wine connoisseur's liquor store. They deal with a lot of high-end wine buyers, people who have very expensive wine cellars, things of that nature. They're also well known for their services. They have an interesting wine futures program. They have a world-class delivery service. And that leads to the second point, which is why the removal is in the public convenience and advantage. And that's because their business model is working and there's been a steady increasing consumer demand for the products and services that they offer. They have incredibly impressive gross sales figures. After going from 4 million and change in 18 to 5 million, in 19 it was 4 million and change. They got the COVID bump. In 2020, they went up to 5 million and change. And then instead of going back down, they just blew it through the roof in 2021 with 9.3 million. And they're on track this year to do 9.5 million. A lot of that is attributed to they have a redesigned and really excellent website. They have a significant internet sales business. They're not just delivering to people on the Upper East Side. They're delivering to people around New York State, around the United States, and around the world. They need more space to do so.
Can we just clear up that space? Because your submission, your supplemental, referred to the store being 3,000 some odd square feet. Your application says it's 5,000 some odd square feet.
The total the total space, Deputy Commissioner, is 5,000 square feet. That breaks down as follows.
No, the members have that.
Okay.
But I just, because your letter cut off 2,000 square feet.
Was not intentional. Let's see, proposed premises. We say in our letter, 2,000 and change retail, 3,000 and change storage.
Right, and it's 5,000.
No. Total.
So you're separating.
I'm separating them, yes. Total, it's 5,000 and change. 2,000 and change retail, 3,000 and change storage. Both of those are bigger than what we currently have. Our current retail is about 1,000, so we're going from 1,000 to roughly 2,000. And and it's much more storage. We're going from 1,800 storage currently to 3,000 and change storage. So a lot of that has to do with supporting their online business, which there is a significant and demonstrated demand for. It's also a larger retail space, which because they do have a significant walk-in business as well. Just last point I want to make, which is addressing the opposition. There's a lack of opposition, first of all. None of the 4 closest stores submitted opposition letters. 2 of those 4 closest stores did not submit gross sales. We did a little diagram in our papers. It's Exhibit B that sort of illustrates who has submitted gross sales and who has not. The only store that has submitted opposition is not even on our map. By our count, they're the 7th closest store. And I do think that their opposition is more geared towards what you normally hear when you get applications for new stores on the Upper East Side. And
Well, I think that the opposition read one of our advisories and tried to apply that advisory to the board's decision-making process, and it really doesn't comport. The advisory is whether a change ends up at the board, correct?
Right.
Which this one did, because it does meet all 3 criteria she's talking about, or doesn't meet.
Yeah.
Because it's moving more than 400 feet, and they've increased the number of square feet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get considered by the board. It just means if it's under those amounts, then it doesn't end up at the board.
That's right, Mr. Chairman. I chose not even to address that in my papers because I thought the board would get that. Obviously, we're here because of the advisory, but that doesn't mean we get automatically disapproved because of the advisory.
I'm just trying to figure out, where is the objector's store? It's not one of the 4 places.
She's 5.5 blocks further south from our proposed store, so we're getting closer to her.
Because you're moving closer to her, right?
On 2nd Avenue, that's right, Commissioner Fan.
Okay, we're ready.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm going to vote to approve.
And Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Brown?
I'm going to vote to approve. It's not adding a store. They're only moving 1,500 feet. And while it is bigger, it seems
No,
like,
they're moving like 4, 5, 6 blocks.
5.5
4 or 5
blocks.
blocks.
5.5 blocks.
it seems like their business model is more geared towards higher end sales as well as shipping and delivery. So I don't see it having an issue with any of the surrounding stores. So I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you, members. Before I sit down, I'd just like to add my name to the chorus of attorneys who have reacted to the bittersweet news of Commissioner Ford, you leaving. I've prepared for many full board meetings over the years. I've never known in preparing for those meetings how you'd vote, but I always knew that you would listen, that you'd come prepared, you'd give every advocate a chance, and even when you voted against me, I always felt that I was fairly treated by you. So on behalf of everybody at Pazetsky and Bookman, we want to wish you the very best in your retirement.
Thank you very much. And I'll attest to that. I never know how I'm going to vote either.
Well, that's the most an advocate could ask for, is an open mind. So
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is 1702, 200 Enterprises, Inc.
Right. My music.
Good morning, members of the authority.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right. So you got to the CB steps.
Yes, we did.
So I don't feel like, do we need to have a discussion or can we just?
But you did, there are steps that were agreed to in supplemental though.
Right, exactly. So you're okay with the steps? Okay. So I'm gonna vote to approve, incorporating all of CB5 stipulations. 12 Sunday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 1 a.m. No live music, no DJ, no karaoke.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll approve with all the steps as well.
And then the recorded music is allowed, but it ends at 10 p.m. Saturday through Thursday, 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday.
Can I just one thing on that, on the recorded music? A midnight recorded music at ambient levels low. This is not a discotheque, it's a diner. A little, I don't.
But you can't.
We can't change it again? Okay.
Well, I
that's
mean,
fine.
because you agreed to it, they would have been here.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably didn't come because everything was agreed to.
Yeah, okay, all right, I just wanted to give them a little bit of
Just
space.
take what you can get right now and then come back.
Start there.
Yeah, I think you get more as you go.
Does anyone?
No, there's no one here in
I think if the music stopped at midnight, people would be okay.
No, because all the opposition was
As long as they
against
can
the
stay
hour.
open, right?
Yeah. And
I-
the music.
I just wanted to say it's been a privilege to be before you, and you've always been fair, and that is something that I cannot appreciate more. Thank you for being the commissioner that you were. I hope that God gives you much life and happiness going forward. Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving to the board, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, Mr. Donahue, Mr. Roper, Mr. Amato, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. I really appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is 1707, BILLYPETE Limited.
But by the way, the request is bizarre.
Which
Anytime like that.
Yeah, I know.
And somebody's left, there's been a big deal. This is true. Can you put your name on the record?
Yeah, Thomas Burke from the Law Office of Stacy L. Weiss. With me is the applicant, Mr. William Bishop. And now I know what the issues are. We didn't prepare the application, but the preparer should have requested a declaratory ruling on the 200-foot law.
Well, that may be, but we're here now.
Okay, so we can deal with it now.
Well, there's not much we can do. That's what I was trying to point out with you last time.
It's a transfer for a place that's there 38 years.
I know, but that doesn't, and it's in case law, I'd love to be able to give it to them, but we don't have discretion on the 200-foot law. So if the agency made a mistake previously,
Or if it was misrepresented to us previously.
which may be, that doesn't help him.
There's an additional license,
I know,
150.
that one is now going to end up with enforcement at their door.
Couldn't it be the case that they were there before the church?
Yes, but you need to provide us evidence with that.
Well, the only record I have of the church is that there was a synagogue. And the only record is an article that says in 2014, one of the leaders of the synagogue was arrested. And they say that the synagogue was founded 7 years earlier.
Respectfully, you can just ask people who have businesses right around there to find out.
Go to the Department of Buildings. I mean, we need some type of evidence that this.
See, this is
licensed.
Larchmont. It's not like New York where I could go to the Department of Buildings. And this goes back a
Well,
long
there's
way.
got to be records somewhere, but my point is, the law, unfortunately, in my opinion, does not give us any leeway on this.
I'm guessing if you go to the building department at the village, somebody there is going to, because
Gonna
my
know.
experience with any town or village, highway or building department, there's always somebody
Would
there
tell us
who
when.
remembers.
Okay, would tell us when the synagogue was founded.
And the other thing you may want to do is follow up with the church to see if they actually plan on going back.
Well, the investigator found that they weren't there at all. They were in New Rochelle.
No, there was a sign saying
renovation.
we've temporarily moved.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you check with the church to say, are you coming, get something from them? Are they coming back or not?
And get the other place to help you, because they're going to lose their license too.
Okay.
Because it's obvious that mistakes either were made on the original application,
On
not
two.
his, but prior, and also this other establishment.
What we're saying is our hands are tied. Give us something to help you.
Okay.
We're not
I'm
against you.
gonna give you until February 1.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner
We'll see you
Ford
in
and
February 1.
Chairman Bradley, you're okay with that?
Yeah. It's okay with me too.
And you can obviously always get wine.
Yeah, wine and beer.
So over to February 1st. And if you want to withdraw, like Chairman was saying, or anything, just let Secretary's office know.
Right, if we decide to go for wine and beer.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
That is a final option. Right.
Yeah,
Is there a way to move your door?
I don't think 30 feet, no.
It's.
Oh, I thought I read 202.
No, man, we're
We have to go for just wine and beer.
I mean, I grew up in the neighborhood. I grew up right there.
And
I'm 58.
there's always been a bar there?
Yeah.
And there's always been a synagogue there?
I went to the church down the street, but I
Yeah,
live.
but the other problem you have is that there's a gap in licensing. The old license expired back last June of 2021, I think it.
Bueller's license?
And when was this filed? This was filed in July, so.
The other thing you can do is go seek a carve out using, getting your legislator
Yeah.
to file a statute that takes them out of the
Right.
200-foot law. But those are
Right.
the options.
That's not gonna happen. I think we're gonna wind up with wine and beer. Okay,
All right.
thank you very much for your help.
Thank you.
Really? Maybe you can get that. Maybe if you work with the other restaurant together, you can get a carve out together. Try.
We're friendly with all the restaurants that are there. I mean, there's
That's very difficult. You'll get the
Because the
legislature to do that,
legislators?
yeah.
Oh, it's worth asking.
Oh, I know.
The only thing they can do for the.
Okay. Sit down for a minute.
Next is 1670, Tequila and MEZCAL NY Corp. 1670.
So this is the licensee, Aurelia Mendoza, and this is her manager, Salvatore Negreros. Now, admittedly, there is a lot of adverse disciplinary history here, but the licensee and her manager told me they have taken steps to resolve these problems. As you can see from the CNC, the things they've done, put sound damping windows in. They've coordinated with the neighborhood coordination office from the police department. They've been to the community board. I went to the community board with them. Their license expires in the end of this month, and they had to go before the community board to get a recommendation as to whether or not you should renew their license. They voted to recommend renewal of the license. They sat down for a long time with the community board, went over the problems that they've been having. And in order to resolve those problems, they've hired extra security. They've ATAP trained everybody. Anybody ordering alcohol has to be ID'd, has to have proof of age. They put in sound dampening windows. They sat down with the police precinct.
Here's the problem. This is their fourth sale to minor in 4 years. That generally is
grounds.
without anything else.
Right.
The end.
I realize that. It's generally grounds for cancellation.
And then she has everything else on top of it.
Failure to supervise the second time, $42,500 in fines, penalties.
Essentially, she's asking for one more chance.
I mean, this last time, someone was stabbed, 8 or 9 times? 9 times. What time do you close?
What time do you close? 4 a.m.
I would bet, there's no timestamps on this, but I would bet these things happen
At 4:40. This one was at 4:40.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay. All right, okay, I'm sorry. I ran over that.
Could we agree to change the closing to 2 a.m.?
If I let you go here, I'm gonna pull the hours back a bit.
Yes.
Try to shut things down a little early.
Certainly.
I mean, do you use any kind of do we ever ask for scanners for an OP?
We've asked for ID scanners, wands, and we,
Do they have security? Like, are they allowed to have security? I guess that would be an issue.
Yes.
I will accept the $15,000, but I'm going to require an ID scanner, and I'm going to pull your hours back at least to 3 o'clock at this point. That's just me. That may even be too late.
Is it 3 a.m. or?
I'll go with 3 a.m.
Commissioner Fan?
Do you have anything in writing from the community board?
They supposedly submitted their recommendation for renewal of the license.
Well, I don't know that it's not part of this matter because this is the enforcement matter, it's not the renewal. So I'm just
Right.
asking you if you have anything.
What was in connection with the renewal that we went to the community board. So that's the only.
I understand, but
Would you like a letter from the community board? They were very, very helpful.
Do you have it, Donald?
Very supportive.
they wouldn't have submitted for the discipline, and I'm looking, we don't have
I
it
know.
scanned in yet for the licensing matter. If we did receive it, we don't have it scanned in yet.
And they've had
Where are
nothing
you
since last January, right?
Unknown at this point. Kind of waiting to see where you are. I'm not going to go where he is. I might, but it's going to be a lot of.
Yeah, I need to see that letter. Otherwise, I'm at cancel and bond. So that's not helpful to you. We can kick this over until I get my hands on that letter.
December 14th would
In
be
the
enough?
system. We can do that. I don't know. Let's go 1-5, so at least we can make it through the holidays.
1-4.
1-5, and you'd like to see support from the community.
Yes.
It's January 4th, so.
January 4th.
Is that okay, Chairman?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bourne?
Commissioner Ford, I'd just like to say, you're going to be sorely missed. Not
You better
only,
get that letter, I'm sorry, but you better get that letter though, because obviously he's going to be gone.
right.
So his vote will be gone.
And it's not only for your sense of humor, which has lightened these meetings many times, and your.
What do you mean?
Everybody mentions your fairness, but it's also your kindness. You're very kind to people who come before you. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
How did you want?
God knows what they're gonna say about me when I go.
They're already saying.
I've been saying that.
Tom,
I've been thinking that, like, oh my God.
Tom, they're already saying it about you.
1664 Sheriff Street Lounge, Inc.
1664.
Pleasant good morning to the chairman and commissioners. Thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Samraj Jaimangal, and I am the sole owner of Sheriff Street Lounge, located at 12009 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York.
What are your hours?
My hours are from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
11 a.m. to 2 a.m.?
Yeah,
11 to 2?
yeah,
Every day?
yeah.
So it's changed again.
Because it was 4.
Yes,
It
we
was-
had
it was
we had
4
amended
or
that.
12, depending on what document you looked at.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good.
And you're running this business yourself?
Yes,
You have other business?
yes.
And you're going to be present at this location, or you have
Yes,
to hire
ma'am. I'm
men?
gonna be there physically.
You're going to be there physically?
Yes.
So you're having recorded music, karaoke.
We're not having karaoke, sir.
Okay.
I think what happened, the word karaoke was a little misleading to me in the first time that I filled out the application. It's not going to be like anybody come up to the mic to sing. It's more like, you go to a restaurant and there's somebody singing, but there's no
So you want
band.
to have live music.
Just like someone singing softly while somebody's singing.
Acoustic.
Yeah.
You
So
want
acoustic,
live
like-
acoustic
Yeah,
music.
so while you're dining, somebody sings love songs, that sort of thing. But it's not going to be a karaoke night open to the public.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And you will have additional manager, one security guard, no private events, no promoter, right?
No.
Okay.
Why is it called Sheriff Street Lounge when you're on Liberty Avenue?
So Richmond Hill is predominantly Guyanese and Trinidadian population. Sheriff Street is a name that resonates with the majority of the Guyanese population. If you go to Guyana, Sheriff Street is the main entertainment strip. There you'll find all the restaurants, all the lounges, the bars. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
I wanted to bring that sense of home
Okay.
to people.
It's a cultural association.
Yes, yes.
Understood.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to vote.
All right.
I'm going to vote because you have lots of letters of support from your community, your local senator, your district leader, etc. Even though the 500-foot hearing came out declaring no public interest and that you have no experience, I'm going to vote to approve with the following conditions. 2 a.m. across the board, acoustic live music is allowed, manager and security guard as needed, no private events, no third-party promoters.
You don't have any outdoor space, do you?
No.
If you need more hours, you can come back after 1 year.
Okay, thank you very
What's
much.
your maximum occupancy? I don't see that.
75 people.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's all manageable.
Yes.
All right. I approve under the same conditions.
Chairman
Thank you.
Bradley?
I'll approve under the same conditions.
All right. You've been approved.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I appreciate your time and happy
you.
Thanksgiving
luck.
to each and every one of you.
Thank
Happy
you.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving to you
God
too.
bless.
Good luck.
Yes.
Next is 1708 and 1709 VYBZ Astoria, Inc.
Yes, this was the one that came in with the supplemental.
So if you could just introduce yourself.
Good morning, Commissioner and Chairman. My name is Eugene Griffith. I'm the owner of VYBZ Astoria.
Okay. All right, try to just run it clean, okay? Because you have a lot of charges and it's a young license, so you don't want to keep coming here. But I'll accept 6,000.
Commissioner
you.
Ford.
Thank you, Commissioner Chairman.
I'll accept 6,000 as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
All right. So yep, your offer has been accepted. You'll get a letter in the email. An email.
Thank you very much and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Next is 1662, RAPI Inc.
Good morning.
Hey.
Donald Bernstein from Bernstein, Radon, and Savitsky on behalf of the licensee. This is a conditional no contest plea.
So withdraw 2, charge number 2, number 12, number 15, number 17, and number 6.
26.
Council's office. I'm
Why
sorry,
are you not
26.
doing
27.
27.
Going to withdraw 27 as well.
Getting that.
You didn't get the updated
Oh, no, I
agenda
didn't.
sheet.
On the list are two.
So read them off, Donald.
Which one's the?
2, 5, 2, 5, 12, 15, 17, 26, 27.
Withdrawals.
26, 27.
At request of council's office.
Yes. Thank
I'm
you.
going to go to 5,000.
I did want to point out, you may be aware of it, that they did file Chapter 11. So the original fine that we had discussed with council's office was $7,500. And I'm hoping that perhaps you would consider reducing it further. Just this spring, they filed the Chapter 11. So they have been suffering and they're going through a reorganization. So I was going to request a $3,000 fine. Most of the violations, not all, but most of them are DOB or fire department related violations. They were all cured. My client had sent all of the documents showing that they were cured to the investigator back in 2019 when these occurred. So we were just-
3,500.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ford
I'll do 3,500 as well.
and Chairman Bradley.
3,500.
Thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And Commissioner Ford, I echo what everybody else said. I don't know if this is your last meeting, but this,
Got to put up with 2 more.
2 more meetings, so maybe I'll see you again.
All right. Hopefully so.
Thank you.
All right. Next is 1687, 5 Senses Korean Barbecue LLC. 1687.
Hi, good morning. Ben Savitsky, Bernstein, Radon, and Savitsky. This is a CNC for $5,000.
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford
I'll accept.
and
I'm
Commissioner
accept.
Fan.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
That restaurant in Staten Island, we just gave them live music, right?
That's the one with the gentleman that the licensee.
Yeah, 'cause
app.
you- that's
Yeah,
what
we gave him live
Yeah,
acoustic.
live acoustic
Yeah,
music.
I did.
Next is
Yeah, no, no.
1698, 57 Grand Street Cafe Corp.
Good morning. My name is Frank Palillo. I'm offering compromise before you.
I'll accept 1,000.
Accept.
1686 Omar's LES LLC.
This is a mess. And we fought last time over it, Mr. Chairman. I'm willing
not
to
gonna
fight.
fight with you.
I'm willing to fight again if you like.
No.
We'll take the 10,000.
Is he going to renew?
No.
Oh.
Premises have been relet to another party.
Accept 10,000.
Accept.
Did I? Yeah, I'll accept. I thought I might have been the one that did it.
1704 is a request for a declaratory ruling.
This particular location, I think I requested a declaratory ruling 2 years ago. In the interim, the building's been sold, and a new applicant is coming in. So basically, the facts are the same as they were before.
The problem is.
We'll
I
love to do it
stretched
for
this
you.
Too long.
What do you mean?
I did this about exactly the same time, period. We all did it, but I kind of bent their arms to do it. And we got sued, and we have a decision now that says.
We can't do it.
We can't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
On this particular case or in general?
That went too far.
Even though the last license, I think, just expired last year.
Yep. Tom, what's the decision say? It puts the limit at, what was that case at? It was like a year, right?
I think what the court did was indicate that your general policy had been about a year. It didn't set a hard and fast standard, but suggested said that in that one case, you went way beyond what you've done in the past.
All right. This is expired August 31st, 2021.
And when did you file the license? You haven't filed it?
I haven't filed it yet, but the request is barely over a year.
It was canceled in
No, it wasn't canceled.
August.
This had no disciplinaries. Haveli Restaurant it was called.
The way I read it, it was pretty much similar to what we just were told we can't do.
And we got smacked down for it.
Yeah, the last license here was canceled in
Haveli Restaurant?
yes,
I don't think, Tom, that's,
August 2020, according to the prosecutor's memo.
no, it was surrendered on August
No,
20th.
it was surrendered and then it got canceled.
I didn't think there were any disciplinaries. I didn't represent them. I did the last
But then you
license.
talk about surrender, so the last time it was licensed was 2019, October 2019.
So it was surrendered and then
So I
retroactively
can't,
canceled.
I don't think that's accurate.
Straight face, grant this declaratory relief.
But according to LAMP, it expired August 30th, 2021.
I will,
Unless LAMP's wrong. I didn't represent them.
You know, it means you have to go to the community board, I get it, but.
It's not just that, it's the real estate.
Right.
It's the real estate. It's not just going to the
That's
grant.
why I try to do it, but I can't. When we have a bad written decision, there's not much I can do.
the license was surrendered in July of 2020. So the memo you have is not correct.
Well, it says August of 2020.
Oh, sorry, it said vacate. They vacated, so they weren't operating there.
Correct, they vacated. But in August 2021, it expired. Again, barely
Yeah, but it
13.
been canceled before that.
I don't think it was canceled.
It was canceled.
It was.
It was
Retroactive.
canceled.
So they must have had something pending that I wasn't aware of.
October
They
20,
surrendered it and then they had disciplinary history and we
I didn't know
canceled
that.
it
in October
retroactively.
2020, they canceled it retroactive to the surrender
So
date.
while I would like to do it, we can't.
I understand. Is it possible, Tom, to get a copy of that decision?
Yeah, just,
The court's decision.
yeah, just email
I'd
me.
like to see it.
Counsel's
I'll
office.
send it to you, Frank.
Thank you.
All right, well, Commissioner Fan, did you?
I can, I just,
And Commissioner
you.
Ford.
I'm leaving, I get, no.
I'm gonna see you 2 more times. I'm not saying all nice things.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a hat trick. so,
I get it.
All right.
thank you. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Frank.
There's no one else, right, Jonathan?
No one else.
Okay.
All right, do it.
You may have Commissioner Ford waiting on that train deck early.
No, I just don't have to drive as fast.
So
We're gonna have time to do, you know what, after you're done. too.
Wouldn't miss that. Go ahead.
1665 is an offer of 3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
3,500 accept.
1666 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1667 is an offer of 4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
4,000 accept.
1668 is an offer of 5,000.
5,000.
5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll accept.
1669 is an offer of 9,000.
Counter at 11.
11. Counter.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10 to 12,000, so 11.
1671 is an offer of cancel and $1,000 civil penalty.
Cancel and civil penalty.
Cancel and civil penalty.
1671, you said, Don?
Yes. Yes.
Kept the license to transfer it later, perhaps. Yes.
And this was renewed recently by the state.
Okay.
1672 is an offer of 6,500.
6,500.
6,500 accept.
1673 is an offer of 3,000.
Yeah, this is a really problematic place. I mean, this ABC officer, it's not selling to the right person and not buying from the right person. So what's going on?
Been licensed since 1982, no history. I would give him a little bit of a slack. I'd cut it to 2,000.
Sounds good.
2,000.
2,000.
1675 is an offer of 1,700.
1,700.
1,700.
Accept, 1,700.
1676 is an offer of 6,000.
This is a second and a third sale, so
The warning.
I'm gonna accept 6,000 on 1676 and 10,000 on 1677.
incorporate these two together.
And it's cancel after this.
So 1677 you also accept?
Yeah, I'll accept both as well.
Both as well, Donald.
1678 is an offer of 3,000.
I'll accept 3,000.
This is another one in tandem with 1679.
Yeah.
Accept.
2,000 as well. Accept.
Accept both?
Yes.
Yes, 1679, accept.
1680 is an offer of 3,500.
Accept.
Accept.
Serving beer in buckets constitutes an additional bar?
Yeah. Same thing with a shot person walking around the bar selling from a yeah.
Accept.
1681 is a request for reconsideration.
Well, they didn't even show up.
Pull this over
Who's
to
the
get them to come
lawyer?
in, or just?
Yeah, who's the lawyer here?
I think it's our screw up, isn't it?
No.
Didn't they send in an offer that we didn't get delivered to us?
Offer. This is
This is a licensing
matter. 1681.
Did I grant it? I must have granted it though, right?
Did, yes.
All right, yeah, put it over then.
To what?
1214?
So, Donald, do you notify them that it's over to 1214?
Yep, they'll get an email with the new date.
Okay.
Okay.
1685 is a no contest offer.
1976, but it was a second sale to.
4,000. Just because the prior one was 2015. How do we do this? You still count it as?
Yeah,
Still,
I mean, you can give them a break because of how long they've been licensed, but yeah, it still counts. But
I'll
they've
do
been licensed for
5,000.
50
I'll do
years.
5,000. Is that okay?
Yep, 5,000.
5,000.
1688 is an offer of 1,500.
15.
15.
15.
1689 is an offer of 10,000.
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, looks like this is becoming a habit though, so hopefully this is it.
1690 is an offer of 3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
1691 and 1692 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Accept. Cancel and bond.
Accept.
1693, 94, 95, 96, and 1710 is an offer of 20,000.
I'll accept 20,000, but this is really last.
I'll
Yeah,
accept
that's
as
what I
well.
said, this is it for them.
Accept. Everyone accept. Yep. 1697 is an offer of 5,000.
Is that
1697.
I'll accept.
high or?
Is it high, what was the no, it's not high, because they were warned numerous times.
Okay.
And if it happens again, well, you may not be here, they are looking probably at 4 or 5 times now.
What was a failure to comply for?
Outside.
1699 and 1700 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Accept. Cancel and bond.
1701 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Bond.
So this complaint was made by a former employee who willingly worked off the books. Don't say how long they worked off the books or how much they made during that time. This started with an investigation. 17, no, I'm on the wrong one, sorry.
1701, right?
Yeah, I was on the wrong one. The other one, yeah, except the other one, I'm sorry. So this is the one, so the availee made a complaint about the availer when the deal wasn't being met. Got it.
Okay.
It's like when someone complains about, you stole my weed.
Mike, is the Scarus Evolution case about the New Year's Eve permit?
Yeah.
The 1705 is a request for a declaratory ruling.
I'm going to say that menu dispensers at liquor stores to provide wine tasting, it's allowable under the ABC laws.
And I would do the same.
As why?
1706 is a request for reconsideration.
I'll vote yes on reconsideration and accept 3,500.
Same here. Yes, and accept.
Chairman Bradley. 1711 is an offer of 1500.
1,500.
1,500.
Accept.
1712 is an offer of 3000.
3,000.
2,000.
3,000.
All right. 1713 is a proposed advisory on caterers permits.
So what's the process of these? Are we voting to post, or are we voting to?
No, this is before you to approve. And all this is doing is putting down in writing.
What the law is.
Yeah, what the practice and the law is, so to hopefully cut down on inquiries.
Okay.
Approve.
And for the purpose of 1713 till 1718, I'm going to vote in the affirmative. Those interested should go online and read the advisories themselves.
And not bother me with phone calls.
Yes, please don't call Tom.
On the group vote, I guess.
Same here.
Chairman Bradley.
Yes, same here.
Group vote there, yes.
All right. Let's go to that again. That was 1713 through 1718.
Need to get to White
Advisories and
Castle.
licensing, they will be posted on the SLA website for public
I need to make
viewing.
a plane tomorrow.
Very helpful. 1719. So this is notice of adoption for alcohol training and awareness program, human trafficking.
Talked about this before. I'll approve.
I'll approve.
All right. I have
you.
nothing else. Chairman, do you have anything?
No, does everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
All right.
Safe trip to wherever you may be going. Seems like I'm the only one not going anywhere.
Meeting is adjourned.
Gotta get a life, Chair.
Florida, Asia,